Hello, I'm your host Tom from MagnaCAD, and in this video we're going to go over how to make a milled pocket. Seems to be a question that comes up quite frequently for some customers. The the milled pocket we're talking about is something that looks like this. It basically has a rectangular milled pocket, and each corner has a relief on it, which is a drilled hole, and the same thing here. All right. Yeah, a couple of clients requested to see how, it's very easy to drag and drop these shapes in INOVATE and IronCAD, but they want a little bit more control over it as to when they resize the pocket, the holes will, go along with the corners, and they can change the size of the drills differently, easier. So we'll just show a nice, demo on how to do that. So what I have here is I have a mold plate, jig plate. All right, we got it started here. I just dragged the block in, put some counterbore holes in, which are patterned here, and chamfered the thing. So that's just basically a plate. So what we're going to do is basically put all the components. We are in innovative mode. There is no structured mode in INOVATE. IronCAD has two modes, so this will work in either mode. It doesn't really matter. But for our INOVATE users, who the software primarily comes with machinist toolboxes, so to speak, using INOVATE will show this. It's only an innovative mode. So when we want to do this, we're just going to drag in the pocket, rectangular pocket, and we're going to drag in a hole, make 3 copies of that hole, and then put it all together. So without further ado, let's get started here. All right, so the first thing we do is we come here. New in the latest releases is all the H's have been removed. That's standard for hole, so they replaced the H's with cut, so it's a little bit more logical. All right, so we're going to cut out a pocket here, and then we come down to our tools catalog, which comes with INOVATE, and we drag a custom hole anywhere on here. And according to his drawing, he just wants a regular through hole, and I'll leave it like that. We can edit that later. So I'm just gonna drag this closer to the corner, and we're gonna make just gonna right click and drag and create 3 links of that hole. So depending, what's nice about links, you select one, the other ones will update, and it doesn't matter which one you do. Alright, and just to make life a little easier, I'm just going to grab the hole and drag it over to the corner. This is just, I'm just doing this so we can see it a little easier. Alright, and I'm going to pull the pocket up a little bit. I'll make the pocket 3/8 high. Alright, so by the way, dragging these features, this is called cruising. This is unique to INOVATE and IronCAD, where it will actually snap to whatever face you drag on. Okay, and it maintains its linked capabilities. So we're just dragging that. So that works when you drag items on it. All right. So really, the trick is what the customer wants is when they resize this block, they want the hole to be tied to the corner of the block to follow that corner. Okay, so it's an extremely easy thing to do. You'll basically select a hole, and what we want to do is tie its center to the corner. And how we do that is go into the tools ribbon bar, positioning constraints, and you see you get a bunch of different types of constraints here. In this case, it makes sense to use a coincident constraint, which basically is a common point that gets shared between 2 components. All right, so in this case, on the top edge of this hole, I want to pick the center of it and tie it to that corner here because it's on the same plane. Say OK, and now it's locked to that corner. So if I resize the hole, you see it will always maintain that corner. All right, so that's basically it. We just do the rest, do that same process to the rest of the holes to tie them. So we'll do that quickly. We'll tie the center here to this corner, pick this hole, and pick coincident from there to there. Okay, pick this hole and tie it coincident from here to here. Okay, now our pocket and holes are parametrically constrained, or I should just say constrained, not parametrically. So we can resize this block to anything we want, right? Let's say 2.5, drag this, I don't know, 3, something like that, and the holes will always stay there. Now the nice thing with that is those are tied to the corner, and each hole is linked to each other. So this pocket is what, 3/8, so let's make the holes like a 1/2 inch deep. So you can click on any one of the holes and go right click on and go to add on properties, and we'll keep it a 1/4 inch, and let's say we wanted to go a 1/2 inch, 3/4 deep, V-shaped bottom. Say OK, and now they've all updated. Nice tool, right? Okay, so I'm just gonna drag this a little bit like this, just to give us a little room. Now the next thing is, usually the question is, how do you copy this pocket? Alright, well in this case we'll just highlight all the features, the pocket and the 4 holes, and unfortunately you cannot, if you right click on the tribal and try create a pattern, it won't let you do it because you got to remove the constraints first. Alright, so you really can't create patterns of the features after you put the constraints on. So you would have to make a copy pattern and then put the constraints on. But that's okay. So what you can also do is, if you can come here, right click and just create all a link, it will let you to link these files. Right? So the 2 pockets are linked and all the holes are linked. The thing here is, now if you, let's say, change the width of this, you see here the holes are not going with it. Alright. Again, it's a constraint issue because each constraint has a unique ID number to a point on the geometry, which is lost here because the point was never created. But it's pretty easy enough. We can just drag a hole and really kind of drag them out of the way a little bit so we can get the corner of our pocket back here on the copies. And you see the constraint is still there. If you click it, you can just drag it right to the new corner and then lock it. Okay, and you simply do that to each one here, and you quickly gain your constraints back. Nice, easy way to do that. Just grab this and drag it to there. You see it's looking for that point, but we're re-referencing this corner point now. So how, 3D CAD programs work is, every piece of geometry, this edge has an ID number. Every vertex has an ID number, so if you break that, that's typically what happens. So now you're all back in action, right? So now this pocket and holes are linked to each other. Whoops, I didn't want to move it, I want to just stretch it. So you see what's going on, right? And there you go. Now you want to center these on the plate, you can just highlight them and all here, right? Get the tri-ball, and then we're going to move the tri-pole to the middle of these 2 pockets. So we'll just say right click from the middle of this point to that point, puts the tri-ball right in the middle. Hit this space bar, and then we're going to snap to the center of the plate this way and snap to the center of the plate this way. Okay, and your pockets are all done. And again, nice little trick, if you want to update these symmetrically, you can just right click and drag and they'll both update symmetrically. Okay, I hope this helps you a little bit. Another nice feature is, if this is something you're always going to move, you can create these parts as a group, right? So if you go into is it under here? Yeah, you can group them, and it's asking you, do you want to create a group under the part or in the scene? And it says click yes to create a parent group or click no to create a scene. I'll just say no. And what it does is, instead of putting the group under here as a feature, so to speak, it's separate. So the beauty of that is you can click them all at one time and reposition them however you want without having to go and select each feature. Alright, that's a nice thing about groups. And if you don't like that, you can always come in and ungroup it if desired and go back to normal. So anyway, again, I hope you found this MILLED Pocket tutorial a little useful to you, and good luck to you.